Let's take you back to some of the past history of Osun State, which is now known as the State of the Living Spring. Osun State, which in Yoruba is called Ìpínlẹ̀ Osun, is known as the State of the Living Spring. The state was formed from the old Oyo State on the 27th of August 1991 and has its capital as the city of Osogbo. When Osun State was created from Oyo State in 1991, Colonel Leo Shegun Ajiborisha was appointed its first governor and served the shortest term in office of 4 months, while Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola served the longest term as governor, serving for 2 consecutive terms of 4 years from 2010 to 2018. Since the creation of the state in 1991, 10 people have served as governor, 4 military governors and 6 civilian governors. Of the 36 states of Nigeria, Osun is the 9th smallest in area and 25th most populous state, with an estimated population of about 4.7 million as of 2016. Economically, Osun State is based around agriculture, artisanal mining, and civil service. Osun is home to several of Nigeria's most famous landmarks, including the campus of Femi University, one of Nigeria's preeminent institutions of higher learning, the Osun Osogbo Grove, amongst others. The current governor is Ademola Adeleke. He was sworn in on the 27th November 2022, and today, 27th of August 2024, marks the 33rd anniversary of its creation. And I want to say again, happy anniversary to the good people of Osun State.
Very well, thank you for that, Tomilola. And 1991 to 2024, 33 years, and the question is, the dream of the founding fathers who fought for these, in the earlier broadcast of Mr. Governor, he acknowledged, the efforts, that was put in place, by the founding fathers of the state, traditional rulers, those living, those are passed on, politicians, people who came together, that Osun State, is a dream, not just a dream, is a reality today. So 33 years after, the question is Osun living that particular dream? Looking at the leaders from Colonel Leo Shegun Ajiborisha to Governor Ademola Adeleke, many leaders, almost 10 of them, held sway in the state in terms of leadership, the economy, the prosperity of the state, the prospect, the promise, and what the state is offering right now, the political, from the days of the military, while we had military administrators, Colonel Bamigboye, Theophilus Bamigboye, Colonel Udofia, and, many of them, the late Isiaka Adeleke, Baba Akonde, as is fondly called, Chief B.C. Akonde, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, Alhaji Isiaka Oyetola, to the current leader right now, Ademola Adeleke. How has it been? The trajectory, of course, politics have played a part. We've had PDP as a party in power. Of course, they are still in power right now. They were in power. APC came on board. They had their sway, and now PDP is back in power. How has the state prospered under the leadership of these political parties and the journey so far? To shed more light into that, we are being joined in the studio by the way, journalists, of course. One of them, a very senior journalist, a veteran in his own right, Honorable Jamiu Olawumi, who is also an APC chieftain in Osun State. Honorable, happy anniversary to you. Good morning.
Thank you. I wish you the same. And the good people of Osun State, happy anniversary.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, by his immediate right, he's a journalist, a public policy person, and of course, of the PDP stock, if I'm able to use that particular word, a PDP chieftain, Osun State here, Honorable Sunday Oladepo. Thank you for coming. Happy anniversary to you too.
Same to you. Thank you for having me. And happy anniversary to all the good people of Osun State.
Very well. Let me start with Honorable Jamiu Olawumi. You have been here. You have worked here in your own right. You have been, in this business for long. But talking about the dream of the founding fathers, pre-creation, before 1991 and 2024, will you say, with benefit of hindsight, Osun is living his dream?
Thank you very much. On a very mood of anniversary, the dreams of the founding fathers have been met, have been realized. And that is the dream of an egalitarian state where everybody will be able to aspire to the peak he desires and that he deserves. We have been able to see an interplay of forces where you have interests that are legitimate coming on board to have a bit of the dance. And we cannot but say that as a state, there's an identity. And as a people, you have a reverence of this where I belong. And when it comes to Nigeria socio-political affairs, we have been able to put our voice as a people. So whether it is 33, 34, 35, the anniversary worth celebration. And we're happy we have our own state. So currently, we can look back and say these are the milestones. These are what we have been able to achieve. This has been what we aspire to get. And these are those that we have not been able to get. So mixed feelings, but on a positive side.
On a positive side. Honorable Oladepo, same question, but let me ask you, first decade, second decade, third decade, 3 more years at it, 33, if you are able to look and in your own, looking at it very critically, how will you describe the journey so far? Honorable just talked about, a bit of here and there, mixed feelings, but more on the positive. What will be your assessment of the state at 33? Have we evolved, or Osun State, in your own view, we are just there?
Yeah, thank you for having me once again.
Yeah.
All right. It is a roller coaster of events. Looking at the trajectory of Osun State right from the creation since 1991, there is again saying the fact that it is a combination of so many things. It's a combination of many feelings. From the inception, right from the perspective or the forebearers that propose having a self-rule from the old Oyo state. The legacy has been that we should have a state where we have an egalitarian society where people can aspire and where we can make use of our own natural resources to build our fatherland. So looking at that terrain, we can see the journey hitherto, right from the days of the military era to the Third Republic that we are into. It has been a trajectory of so many things. It has been a roller coaster of sorts. So, but regardless, it has been a journey that has been, full of hope. Talking about the history, because I don't want to really bore us with a lot of history, and I don't want to regurgitate a lot of rhetoric, but starting from the early administration of the earliest forebearers, people that, fought for the creation of Osun State.
Right.
They projected some things, and of course, we think we are presently evolving. But right now, we might not be there. But thank God for the incumbent. He's striving hard to make sure that the dreams of our forefathers have been actualized.
Very well. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, you just talked about the incumbent is trying, but the incumbent, in his own right, is less than 2 years in office. By the way, we've had leaders in the state who have spent 8 years. However, we shall have spent 8 years. Omoba, Olagunsoye spent more than 7.5 years. So, all those, we get into it very shortly. Maybe because of time, we could just get there. Honorable Olawumi, the APC as a party from the days of the AD to the ACN to what we now have, the APC, spent a cumulative 16 years in office. 4 years of BC Akonde, 8 years of Rauf Aregbesola, 4 years of former Governor Yetola, 16 years. The PDP spent, if you are going to estimate, maybe 9.5 years, with the 7.5 years of Prince Olagunsoye Ilola, with 1 year, 9 months or thereabout of the Ashiwaju of Edeland now, Governor Jackson Adeleke. Honorable Olawumi, how will you describe the leadership, the prosperity of Osun, looking into the leadership of the party when these parties were in power? And I want us to contextualize it as well. 16 years of the APC, almost 10 years of the PDP. In clear conscience, how will you describe the prosperity of the Osun people under the leadership of these parties?
Thank you very much. The first hallmark of the aspirations of those who fought for Osun State is unity. Because you could have all of them drawn from various spheres of life, but coming together to make sure there's an identity for them as a people. And at that time, there was no issue of division. There was unity, and an Ife man, an Ijesha man, an Osun man see a state of his own, and that was the hallmark of what you will summarize as the 16 years of the Progressive Party. We have the administrations of these governors from the AD, APC, ACN, APC. The first robust identity given to the state was achieved by Chief BC Akonde. Hitherto, there was the state that is being housed in shanties and rented apartments spread across Osogbo. You have the Ministry of Water Resources, you have the Osun State Press, you have special duties at Testing Ground in Osogbo. I remember that was where Tomilola was commissioner then. We have Ministry of Agric along the Ilobu Road here. You have Accountant General's office opposite Fakunle. Even the Accountant General, who should be the boss of the governor, was not staying at within the governor's office environment. Like that. But within 23 months, you really can put up what you have as Abere today. 23 months. When his allocation was 150 million per month.
23 months, that's less than 2 years.
Yes. All that you have there, including the Olage house. What we had is the finance building that was commissioned by Engineer Barnabas Gemade to house the state secretariat. The state secretariat was at this current Ayigbaju market then. It was Chief Akande that housed the state. So that was the first benchmark you see for unity. People have a destination coming to Osogbo to do government, to do business with government. That's done. You have the SDP, the SDP government was part of also the progressive government, headed by the late Chief Governor Isiaka Adeleke. He started this West Bypass. He also started the Aleku Odo there, the dualization. The road was completed by Chief Akande again from Olaya to Itaolokan, constructed by Army Engineering Corps Nede, but later resurfaced and reconstructed by Ralph Arabesho that time. And I could say that the people have never been this divided under the PDP. You have old wounds being open, and you have salt being added to it now. There's contention, serious contention between Osogbo and Ede community now. Hallelujah here, if you go there, it's called Ede land. Ogolua in Osogbo, if you look at the Google, it's also Ede North Local Government. We are people, when the Abere issue came up, Alaja Adiamo was Commissioner for Special Duties from Ede. Instead of what we have now, government encouraged them to go on litigation for court to determine where is Osogbo, where is Ede. And there was no tension. Ordinarily, when you have people who are contending issues,
Right.
immediately they put their issues before the court. Everybody calms down. But now we have tension. The progressive government was able to manage the tension in the manner that the rivalry, the initial rivalry before the creation of the state, there were 4 or 5 communities seeking to be capitals of the state. Osogbo, Ede, Ejigbo, Ilaorangun, I think about 7, Ife, Ilisha, and Ogbomoso, that is not your state. Ogbomoso offered to be part of Osun State if it will be the capital.
Right.
But if not the capital, they will not join. And you could justify that aspiration when there was PTF road that were meant for Osogbo that were taken to Ogbomoso under Buhari PTF regime. But the rivalry now has been reduced to that between Osogbo and Ede.
And you think that's because of politics?
It's not because of politics.
Or because of the bad leadership
it's
of the
because
PDP?
of mismanagement of peaceful atmosphere.
All right. Honorable, we get there. We'll get there. Before my colleague comes in, Honorable Oladepo, you've heard what Honorable said, because I'm asking 33 years, and, you know, with different years spent by different parties, both of your parties in these states, what has been the prosperity like? You know, ensuring that, Honorable said, the state has far more been polarized, divided under the PDP. The progressives, as it termed it, were able to manage while they were in power. Is that true?
Not true. Okay, I would not like to make a rigmarole around relevancies.
Yeah.
Because virtually what Mr. Jamiu said are just regurgitation around rhetorics, things that are not really speaking about fact and figures.
How so?
Now, I'm going to make a timeline as regards the reflection of how we have this government coming on board. Now, I will start from where he stopped, because it was capitalizing on what Chibisa Konde did as regard what I called conglomeration of all scattered government parastatals, as we have it now in Abere. Of course, I think that is the only thing we can call a capital project that the government of 4 years, which Baba Konde ran, did. But there are a lot of anomalies that characterize his government. I will start from just 1 year into his government, because in the Third Republic, when he came on board in 1999, a lot of us were politically naive, and it came to bamboozle the public. So, and the very first thing that he did just 1 year into his administration was that he singularly retrenched, if you like it, call it sacked, more than 143 members of staffs of OSBC journalists, people that we know today are the fourth arm of the government, people that are holding government accountable. He sacked them, he retrenched them. That was the very first thing he did. So he was talking about polarity. What could have polarized a system of governance more than that? Because you want to gag the people from expressing their views and opinion. So the very first thing he did when he came on board was to sack more than almost 200 members of staff of OSBC. That was the very first thing that Chieftain Conde did. And again, you won't be surprised that less than 2 years into his administration again, he dissolved the Council of Obas. This is a history that we're still trying to see if it can be rewritten, because it is always something that is regurgitating that whenever we remember that the very first person being an elder statesman.
Honorable Oladepo, just so you know, we are speaking to facts on this program.
Exactly.
So please go ahead.
Exactly. So it dissolved the Council of Obas. These are very people. We are in a digital era. Wherever we say it can be fact-checked.
Right.
So it dissolved the Council of Obas just 2 years into his administration. I think that is not enough. Almost towards the tail end of his government, there was a chaotic invasion of the government house between himself and the deputy government. So that was how he left the government. Deputy governor then. That was Senator Mishori. That was how he left the government. He left the government in a chaotic manner. So it was at this platform, it was on this level that the government of Oladepo came on board. These were the things that he met on ground. Aside the fact that Chieftain Conde sacked more than 145 members of OSBC, which I said the records are abandoned. We can fact check them. He was even threatening, even the eve of his election, that if he's elected, he's going to retrench more people. It is the fear of this that made him very unpopular among the workforce, the workers. So when Tomilola came on board, the very first thing he did was to assemble this chartered house, because Chieftain Conde left a shambles, left the government shambled. So when Tomilola came on board, he, being a prince, restored a lot of things, a lot of anomalies. The very first thing he did when he came on board was to ensure full employment of all the factors of production, particularly these workers that we were talking about. That was the very first thing he did, because he made a promise that he's going to reabsorb the people that were retrenched during the era of Chief Bisi Conde.
Did he do that?
He did, of course. The
All
record,
of them?
all of them. We have the record. We can verify this claim. So he reabsorbed them into the workforce. That was the very first thing he did. I said he made a government that has been shambled, because of a lot of activity that characterized the government of Chief Bisi Conde. Then again, he found a reliable and sustainable source of revenue, because when he was mentioning his point, he said despite the fact that Chief Bisi Conde was collecting a meager allowance from FAACC, that he couldn't be able to do much. But these are all fallacious arguments. And that was what I call them unnecessary rhetoric around relevancies. What he could have done as a profound administrator is to look elsewhere, get an alternative to fund government programs and projects. This was exactly what Prince Oladepo did when he came on board. He sought an alternative to increase government revenue, which he did through what we called, he opened the states to a lot of attractions, particularly for investors to come and invest. So he did this through, he utilized tourism and culture. So, and of course, it is on record that he was the chief architect of the first conference of black nationalities. And today, we all know that each of the previous government is characterized with at least one sustainable legacy. And Yola today is remembered as the governor of the state that created the first indigenous state university, having campuses around. Campuses around. And he did not complain about the FCC allocation that he was coming there, because it was, let's not forget, it was even done by back in this era when we are in the Gbemu era. The Gbemu simply means when people were any more than they deserve. They see government offices as merchandise, because a lot of money were coming to government, and the people that were holding that office, those offices were called Gbemu councillors. They were called Gbemu chairmen. And the same Chief Bisi Conde was the one that was, complaining about mega allocations from the federal government. So it was when Prince Oladepo came on board that he corrected all these anomalies. Then let's fast forward to the government of Benara Varoshola, because that was the person that took over, the court pronouncements in the battle that took over from Oladepo. So of course, there is no case in this fact that Varoshola a prominent personality in his progressive fold, ran the most fiscal irresponsible government in Nigeria. I will repeat that again. He ran a government that is financially reckless. He ran a government that has a lot of financial atrocities to his name. So, and it was very notorious, his government, for a lot of obnoxious politics, particularly in the education sector. We all know them. What is the usefulness of all these old nonsenses that he cobbled around just because he wants to siphon?
Sorry, I want us to be careful with the use of words. This is a family television.
It's all right.
Please go ahead.
No, so he invented a lot of, old policies. We call them old policies that today are not relevant to the remainder of the state. And these are the things that he extended a lot of government patrimony, a lot of government money to execute. Today, where are those old things? Oh, this, oh, that, oh, whatever, as we had them then. These are discarded policies again. They are not sustainable. He did all these things just to siphon our commonwealth. So, and of course, he ran an unusual government because he called his government an unusual government. And of course, during his tenure, we experienced unusual calamities, unusual disasters. And of course, I agree with him. He intentionally ran an unusual government that has landed us where we are today. It's not because of intervention of the people's government we have on board.
All right, very well. And I'm sure Honorable has some rebuttal to that, but then I will allow Tommy to comment on this one.
He makes me to feel happy I'm older here, and that I've lived almost all my life here. So when you see people are coming up making some distortions, and you said it's a journalist too?
No, I didn't say so. He is.
Okay.
I didn't just say so.
Okay. I expect some level of communication. I will show statesmanship from him. So please, my brother, because we belong to the same profession, you can do better. You are talking about Akande's government, and you're also making references to OSBC, where I worked for 25 years, where Oloye did that is here also worked. Restructuring is normal in public administration. What a particular policy will view, another policy will also view the other way around. And perhaps he did not also serve in Akande's government as media assistant.
Right.
So I have what in my fingertips.
He called it sacking. You are calling it restructuring.
It was restructuring.
Is it same?
They cannot be same. Restructuring and sack cannot be the same.
Okay. But people were relieved of their duties, isn't it?
That is the fact.
Okay.
When you look at a government that is taken off from the military administration, that a state that is coming from the military junta administration, where things are done in a particular style. Everybody knew that even when military administrators were here, the allocation would come with contractors following suit from Abuja to take whatever they have. Rather than maintenance of public service, they would not do much thing. Except Theophilus Bangboyi that built the new Olusunbare shopping complex. What they did was to make sure that the status quo was serviced, not maintained, was even serviced. And you have that governor coming when a lot of appointments were made, when there was no publicity, when there were no vacancies declared in public service. When you are taking off, you are building a democratic structure that will take care of fiscal policy and social development agenda implemented. You must review a lot of things. I was to be part of the SAC, Oloyede will remember. When I was to join OSBC, there was no...
That's the State Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes. There was no vacancy declared. It was through the under the table and all those things. There are some people who I inherited again when I was a senior officer there, that ordinarily you question certain things about it. It was not in OSBC that was restructuring took place. It also took place in the public service, in teaching service, and all those. That was the policy of that government that wanted to take from the common humanity certificates to technical. And that government did by establishing 9 technical colleges again to make sure that the skill acquisition that every government mouths to aspire to get that we have not gotten. So you cannot say that aside Abiri, that was the only thing, that was nothing again that Bishop County government did.
But this sack that you talked about, Honorable, that you call the restructuring, obviously took food off people's table, landed some people in penury, especially the sack that happened in the teaching service, which was quite huge.
It could be bitter.
Yeah, it was. Not that it could be bitter, it was. We had, Honorable, so that you can just have an angle of it.
Okay.
There were couples who were teachers who were sacked at the same time, which landed the family in problems. Some of their children could not continue their education. I'm sure many of them watching will not have that as a good experience. You call it restructuring. It was a bad time in the history of the state.
It was restructuring, I insist. It was restructuring. Where you have history teachers handling core subjects that is not core to him. Where you have what was later detected, even by the government, ghost workers. Where you have public expenditure reorganized and rejuvenated, there's no omelette without breaking eggs. It could be bitter. It was bitter, but it was the necessary thing to do. That's done. You also say that he was talking about the State Council of Obas. State Council of Obas was there. There were litigations. There were crises of who will lead. We are coming from Oyo State when the crisis between Alaafin and Deoni turned the council apart. You have the Owa Obokun Onogun aligning with Oni and Owa Obokun of Ijeshaland standing akimbo. And you have Olubadan and some of Ogbonsho treating towards Alaafin. The crisis came with the creation of state. And you have edits of the state that has reorganized the Council of Obas. You have permanent president, you have deputy chairman. All these were done by progressive administration.
Shouldn't that have taken a natural course, in as much some of those concerns you expressed were pre-creation and immediately the state has been created? The traditional rulers will have sought that out on their own.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, what was the number of members of Council of Obas in Oyo State? What you have in Osun that ministry bequeathed to the state was in triples of what the old Oyo State had. So there was the need to sort out things and to go historically. You can't be doing that. You have to see some actions to reform. When you have less than 50 in the whole Oyo State and you have 75 in the new state. So part 2 Obas, part 3, there have to be classification. All right. So it was not a dissolution for the fun of it. It was for restructuring of the Council of Obas, we will now enjoy today.
Oh, all right. You know.
All right, moving
yeah.
away from restructuring, let me go back to Mr. Sunday from the PDP. There is no way we'll talk about economic without talking about agriculture, food creation, food security, job creation, and the likes. So tell us, what was the state of Osun State, the Living Spring? What was it like when the PDP resumed power?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank God we have actually moved away from the last question we asked. I wanted to hide some things, but okay. Now let's quickly answer the question you asked. When you were doing the introduction, the primary stage of these things, the PDP government were just about last 7 years, and the incumbent is 7.5 years. Okay, and the incumbent is almost 1.5 years into the government too. So we are just having a total tenure of less than 10 years. And looking at the foray, of course, we know that the government of PDP has been the highest employers of labor, because I will start from, you talk about labor, employers of employment. So has been the highest employers of labor. So from where we stopped, the government of Prince Oladepo reabsorbed a lot of retrenched workers, because I don't want to come here and start playing politics. We are here to speak to facts and figures. We're not here to use didactics or rhetorics to bamboozle the audience. We're here to say things as they are, because whether we like it or not, when we go out of this place, we are still members of the public, and all these things affect us directly or indirectly. So it is during the government of Prince Oladepo that he employed a lot of people that were retrenched by the previous government. A lot of them. All of them were virtually reabsorbed back to the system. Then, looking to agriculture, there are a lot of programs that Governor Inola did. I don't want us to, probably maybe we're still coming to this question as regard the incumbent.
You have your time now. You might want to name some of them.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that the incumbent has done.
Because we are now speaking about specifics.
Yeah, exactly. Now, without even making or emphasizing what the governors and PDP have done. Now, looking at what is happening in the state at the moment, there are a lot of improvement, a lot of things that are ongoing, because the present government is, just 2 years into his government, he has done a lot of, he has formulated a lot of policies that have bring back the lost glory of the state. So I'm going to just be mentioning a few. When he came on board during his first year, let's talk about infrastructure first, because of course we all know that this government is renowned for infrastructure, as he has been doing a lot of things as regards infrastructure. So the very first thing he did when he came on board is to set the state back to its lost glory, because he inherited a state that was really indebted by the previous government of Alhaji Isaka Itola. Alhaji Isaka Itola left a Mongom state when he was leaving the post, and probably that was what the reason what resulted into him not taking part in the transitioning program, because during the phase when we were supposed to transition from the previous government, he did not take any activity, don't take any part. So, speaking to agriculture, we all know.
No, you talked about
infrastructure.
The governor, hold on, restoring the state back to its old glory. According to you, okay. How did you do that?
Yes.
Are you talking about Governor Adeleke?
I'm talking about Governor Adeleke.
How has he done that?
Yes. When he came on board, there are a lot of things he met on ground. So the very first thing he did, in fact, the first year of his administration, he constructed almost 90 kilometers of road network. That was the very first thing he did. And of course, the abandoned road project that was supposed to have been completed by the government of Oyetola, because it was also part of the government of Aregbesola, the Oshogbo Ikiro Ilaudo road. The project was left abandoned. So using the rhetorics that the state lacked fund to continue with the project. So the project was left hanging. It was when Governor Ademola Adeleke came on board that he completed the project, even within the first 100 days of office, active working days in office. That was the very first, those are the very first thing he did. And in education, the very first day, he has been able to rehabilitate about 31 schools. 31 schools across the length and breadth of
What kind of schools? Primary and secondary?
Primary and secondary. When I say schools, of course, I'm referring to both primary and secondary schools.
Okay.
So he has been able to rehabilitate a lot of schools across the length and breadth of the state. So these are very, very favorable sentences and statements that can be fact-checked. So we have 30 local governments in Osun and 1 area office.
He has done 1 per local government.
No, that is not true.
You said 30, and we have 30 local governments.
No, that is not. I'm saying he has rehabilitated. That is just first year into his government. I'm not saying that is the overall of what he has done. I'm just trying to like bring a timeline of what he has done. So those are the things he has done, and that's in education, in X sector. So the OIS, he has done a lot of things in OIS, and through enrollment of people, indigent people that could not that couldn't pay for medical bills, surgeries, and some other complicated medical conditions. So Governor Ademola Adeleke has been able to enroll over 3,000 Osun indigents into the scheme of Osun Health Insurance.
3,000.
More than 3,000.
More than 3,000.
Because I'm speaking to figures now.
Yeah,
So
yes,
if you
more
want
than
to have
3,000.
a counter argument, please you can bring it down, but so that we can fact check them. So that is on X sector, and again on X sector through Imole medical outreach, the government has carried out over 5,000 free surgeries. I mean, over 5,000 free surgeries for people that couldn't afford medical complications. So these are some of the things he has done in X sector. And of course, today,
because you are speaking to facts,
Yes.
there might be some persons who will say free medical intervention by administrations. The administration
should not be
of-
regarded as.
hold on. The administration of Adeleke won't be the first to do that, medical intervention, even in the state. I know it's part of what he has done. I'm just saying.
Okay. No. When we say he won't be the first to do it, others have not done it.
Eh?
They were only baboons, the people that have done it. When we talk about speaking to fact, I'm talking about what we can verify, where we have data
Other
and
governors
figures.
in the state have never done it.
No,
Is that what you're saying?
there is a difference between you claiming to have done something and you to have actually do it.
Okay.
There are a lot of things that characterized the previous government before we came on board. There are a lot of things that the previous government claimed to have done. After when we got on board, we know that they're just paper policies. They were not really implemented. So I'm not speaking to fact that these things can be verified.
Okay.
We have records everywhere. And that's why I'm banning out figures so that these things can be fact-checked, whether these are just politics or we are just doing rhetoric. So that's why I'm even adding number that he has done over 5,000 free surgeries. So it is not a matter of other people have done it. Of course, some other people have claimed to have done it, but we have it on record that he did it. I'm just talking about just X sectors again. And of course, we are in the digital era. And the issue of ICT, tech, cannot be laid aside. It is this incumbent that is doing a lot of revitalization of digital ecosystem. Talking about a lot of digital ecosystem that is going on. We have a lot of digital bootcamps and a lot of things, a lot of programs.
Digital bootcamps, where?
A lot, yes. Regarding to the SSA, Mr. Shola Ishola is the SSA on ICT and some other things.
Yeah.
There are a lot of boot camps. Some of them were partly sponsored by 3MTT of the federal government. There are a lot of things that are ongoing in the state. Probably we don't know. There are a lot of things that are ongoing in the state that are
so that we know.
Tell
That's
us,
why
so
you
that
are
we
here.
may know.
That's what I'm telling you, that he has facilitated a lot of boot camps in the digital ecosystem.
Where are they?
You don't see boot camps. I can only give you people that have benefited. You are asking me to bring the evidence for boot camps, like for seminars or for workshops that he has intended to enhance human capacity. I cannot show you physical evidences for this, but all these things can be fact-checked. The facts are banned that he has done a lot of things. This is just about digital ecosystem. There are a lot of things he has done. We have been talking about some things ranging from agriculture, and recently even brought in tractors, because now, of course, the rate at which everybody is complaining about food scarcity, inflation, and everything. So, and that is why the government of Senator Ademola Adeleke recently purchased some tractors to facilitate.
How many?
Some tractors, more than 5.
5.
More than 5.
Yes.
Okay.
To facilitate agriculture.
You said 5.
I said more than. I didn't
More
even say
than
5.
5.
I said when I say more
Okay,
than,
let's
I
put
mean
it
it
at
can't be less
15.
than 5.
Let's put it at 15.
Now, so no, you don't put figures for me. I only said less than. So don't put figures into my
More
mouth.
than 5.
Honorable, please hang on. Let him just land.
Okay.
So he recently purchased this tractor because he wants to help farmers. Farmers are one of are the basic stakeholders in the society, because when there is no food, farming happens. So and he looks inward. Then he thought to ease mechanized farming. The only way we can help our farmers is not just in giving them seedlings, which previous government have been doing, giving them seedlings, giving them oats. We are in an era of digital and mechanized farming.
Right.
So he's buying tractors for farmers to enhance their productivity, to enhance their production. So speaking to agriculture and a whole of other things that he has done just within 2 years into his government.
All right, still on agriculture, like you mentioned, the farmers are the major set of people in the state. Let's talk about food security.
Okay.
And we know we have issues of herders, farmers clash, and major states in Osun State. So let's say, what is the state? Yes, what in some towns, yeah. What is the state of the farmers? How safe are these farms for farmers in Osun State at the moment?
In fact, I'm hearing for the very first time that we have issues of farmer herders clashing also. I'm hearing that for the very first time because Osun, as we all know, is renowned for peace and tranquility. So when we talk about the clash between farmers and herders, we'll be talking about the northern Nigeria, Katsina, Borno, and some other places. So I'm getting to hear from you that there is.
I'm just saying, I want you to confirm if it is true or not.
It is not true. It is not true. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting to hear that just now. We don't have the case of farmers herders clash in Osun because Osun has been peaceful, has been peacefully managed and governed, and our farmers are in their various farms doing good jobs to provide food security for
all right, Honorable Jamiu,
thank you very much.
Speak to that.
Yes, I want to say,
before we go to
without being immodest, my brother, you are not speaking to the fact. I'm sorry, I just have to let you know.
You can bring up facts.
Wait now. You have talked about.
No, that's an allegation. You can bring out fact to counter my fact.
Yes,
if I'm not speaking to fact, you can bring out your own fact to counter my own fact. So that the audience will still speak to fact.
Allow me to talk now.
Okay, you can talk now. No, I only address what you said because that's an allegation. You said I'm not speaking to facts.
Allow me to talk.
Please go ahead, sir.
Please talk.
You have talked about so many issues, and you are trying to talk out the programs, even that were not executed. It is not the first time PDP government will bring in tractors to Osun State. I have witnessed in your studio here, when Agbe was there, I was a communication officer for Osun Rural Enterprise and Agricultural Program, ORIP. Governor Tomilola government bought close to 70 tractors. When we came, when Agbe started to reprogram, we could only find 7. Some had been leased to.
Can you please repeat that?
We could only find 7.
When Governor Agbe
yes.
Out of the 70
out,
that you
out
said
of the 70.
Okay.
There were ones that were leased out to, rented out to Kwara State Agri Project, the Zimbabwean farmers. And you have, our inventory showed that there was no accountability for the management of those tractors. This government is also claiming to have brought in tractors. We have asked them, where are the tractors? They said it is not safe to keep the tractors in Abiri, where you have the seat of power. If Abiri is not safe to have tractors, where would be safe?
Did they actually say that?
Yes. As you see, what is the spokesman, Malam? I was with him on a radio program in Malaysia. He said the place was not safe, that they will soon bring the tractors out. He said they have bought close to 100. This man said they have bought about 5. That's what we have with this government. Different spokesperson turning out different figures. You cannot pin them down on a particular idea. You talk that OIS, Ademola Adele government came to meet OIS. When Oyetola was there, OIS was rated number 2 in Nigeria and left over 2 billion naira there in the account of the insurance management system of OIS. Because the government wanted to dip his hand to the tilt, the executive secretary was removed. Another person was there. You have the crisis there.
But that's a strong allegation.
It is, yes.
To say the government wanted to dip his hand to the tilt.
Yes, the government has the till, but you want to put your hands into the till specifically in OIS. That's what they did.
And that's why the executive secretary was removed?
Yes. I'm saying, whatever I'm saying, I have all sense of responsibility.
Definitely.
You are now talking about people with special needs. the handicapped that you have attended to about 3,000. I know the population of the handicaps in Osun State because I manage a system that also took care of them. Even we are talking about 3,000. What's the percentage of that 3,000? 4.7 million people. When you are talking about 5,000, what's the percentage of 5,000 to 4.7 million people? You are talking as if the program you are talking about OEs is not more than what a local government will handle. And the handicapped people are spread across the state. They are not concentrated in a particular place. In some cities, some local government, you have about 13, about 20, about 40, which ordinarily should be shouldered by local governments. What the local government ordinarily should do is what you are prouding that just the state government is doing.
But honorable, no matter no matter how minute, what we say, it is still something. Excuse
me.
As much it wasn't done.
Let the judgment
be
done by people watching the program. You are not to make the judgment.
Okay. No, I'm not making judgment.
This government, this government came with one ball in every ward of the state. I'll give you an example. Aleku Odo Akindeko and Co. Tilogolua. That's Shogbo Ward 4. You live here, you know how many people that probably should be around that corridor. One borehole. When pipe-borne water constructed by Costain under the supervision of the late Sibola government, the water was supplying 16 local governments of the current Osun State. Ask yourself, a government of this century not running pipe-borne water. They run pipe-borne water in Lagos. They do it in other developed parts of the country, of the world. This government has removed pipe-borne water from our circulation. And the process of distilling the water works.
One might say they didn't meet any as well.
No. The process of distilling the water works was handled by a South African company, Odaregbe. The next thing was then to lay pipes, the new pipes. It has not seen the light of the day when they came to office. You are
saying they didn't continue with that project.
They didn't continue with it. You are talking that this government has been PD government has been the largest employer of labor. That is not correct. Aregbe government employed over 3,000 teachers. Public service about 350. Oyetola started employment recruitment of teachers, 2,500. This government came, sacked 1,500.
They complained about the process.
They complained about the process. And ever since, 5,000 teachers promised by this government has not been employed. And I must let you know, you get to the Ministry of Education to check the fact, to talk to this fact I'm going to tell you. In 2020, Osun State Teaching Service had 12,500 vacancies. 12,500 vacancies in year 2020. Oyetola started planning to employ 2,500. That would have left us with 10,000. You have sacked 1,500, and people have retired. Some people have left the job. The vacancy there now is about 17,000. Teachers in Osun State. What we have in our schools are quack teachers, corpers, NYSC members who only come to work two days in a week. They go for Said, they will go for community development, whatever. They only attend to other jobs 2 days in a week. Those are the teachers you have there. All students associations are the ones sponsoring teachers to teach our students in public schools.
Honorable, because of time, time is fast.
The progressive government has come to the state at a point in time, giving free uniforms to people. The school feeding meal that you inherited has died. After the escapades, the government, where are they? When they were slicing one egg into 2 or 3, that happened around the Owode Owokwe in Oshogbo.
Right.
That when people were taken to
honorable,
hospitals.
Gentlemen,
you have left so many things undone. You are only parroting what you have not done.
All right,
That
let's
is not
let's
true.
speak to other specifics, by the way, and that's why we have you gentlemen here who are parts, in your capacity, part of different political parties and possibly have served under different administration before. Let's talk about the debt profile of the state. As of 2022 September, that was before Governor Adeleke took over. A document from the Debt Management Office, DMO, who sees to things like this, September 2022, puts Osun debt profile to be 149 billion 409 million 835,462 naira 0.63 kobo. 149 billion.
149 billion.
Yeah, 409 million 835,462. That was before Governor Adeleke took over, September 2022.
Exactly.
Now, another document from the same DMO as of March 31, 2024, Osun debt profile, according to the DMO, has been put at 87 billion, 14 million, 347,468, 87 billion from 149. I'd like to ask you, Honorable, because this administration, when they came on board, the PDP, they said they met a huge debt burden. And now, September 2022 to March 2024, it has significantly reduced from 149 to 87 billion naira. And that speaks to the fact that during the progressive time, and he spoke about that as well, that it was debt and debt and debt, which possibly doesn't commensurate with the level of work done. What will you say to that?
Thank you very much. You have made me happy by that question. The DMO put it at 147 billion. 149 billion as of September. But this governor lied on oath when he met the Council of Traditional Rulers. He put it at 400 billion. So which one is correct? DMO figure or Governor Adeleke's figure, 400 billion? That is one of the indices.
By the way, maybe I should put that context. Domestic debt. We are talking about domestic debt.
The DMO captures debt profile.
No, this particular statistic is speaking about domestic debt.
Okay. Let us fact check what the external debt is, if you have.
I don't have that.
What you have brought here is what I'm talking to. So you don't reinforce the figure you have.
No, I'm not. It's a public document.
If you now bring DMO saying you are reinforcing that document, leave the document as
I don't know if I
is.
can.
No, it's a public document.
I'm talking.
I don't know if
hold on. You have your time. This is a public document.
I'm on the floor. That could probably be line or note, because when he got to the traditional, like said 400 billion. In 2016,
right,
I'm giving you the National Bureau of Statistics figure. You can Google it. Osun GDP standing of states in Nigeria, Osun was number 9 GDP. Despite that figure, the debt figure you have quoted. The GDP was very high because of 2 or 3 things. The capital projects that were being handled by regular government, you have a lot of Osun people working there. If you go to the projects they are doing now at Okefia and Lameko, principally people you have there are members, staff of Ministry of Works, as against the practice of Aregbesola here. That increased Osun State GDP. You have people from Ministry of Works 1 week working at Okefia, then rushing down to Lameko to work the other week. That's why you have. And at the rate at which contracts were given is about an average of 2 billion naira per kilometer. And you see have this scanty number of people working there. It cannot increase the GDP of Osun State. The GDP of Osun State today, it is better than what Osun has. And I will give you from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. Osun is now on number 24 ranking. It is on number 23. Bauchi on 22. Adamawa 21. And The figure captured for Osun is 14.6 rather, at GDP that will give us to number 24. Even when you claim that they have borrowed money, the people have the effect. You have the effect on the people. That will increase the state ranking to number 9 in Nigeria. That's done. We are talking about due process, transparency. On good authority, the head office of the company that is handing over, is handing the project of Okefia, is number 4 Siagati Street in Ede. That company cannot be found there. Fake address, fictitious peoples, faceless individuals. Computer Center, it is the one that won the contract of Lameco. It was in the public space. You are having a government that is being run within a room where a room that you can set a photographic studio that have a lot of dark room and not transparent approach to it. You are talking about the debt profile. Osun State government is compelled to pay, not because somebody is a governor, even if you put a chicken there, because they deduct the money from the source. It's already bonded. So nobody can claim that I've been paying. If you cannot pay, you must pay. If it is even beyond you. It is only when what deduction is not enough that you have to eat from whatever you have. So it's not a credit of anybody that my government has been paying. Even if a chicken were to be there,
you will.
He will pay.
Surely pay.
Because it's deducted at the source.
Honorable, you might want to respond to that in a minute.
It's not an achievement.
Yeah.
If you look at the way he maneuvered the question, he has not responded to the fact of that question. You asked him the questions as regarding debt profile, but he maneuvered his way. He's making a smart sort of integrity. He maneuvered his way. He was talking about GDP when you asked him a question of debt profile. He intentionally,
my brother, wait,
neglected that part because you know that is where the government will.
No,
when you were talking,
you should mind.
I said you maneuvered the question instead of you speaking to fact.
Please.
That's the truth.
When you are responding, when you are talking to another person on a program, there are certain decorum.
This is not arguing. This is not arguing them. I'm not attacking.
I told.
I'm not talking about issues.
I told one.
And let's leave individuals.
The document said 149 billion, and I told you the governor went to the council of Oba to say 400 billion. He lied on notes.
That is not true. I'm still going to respond to that. That is not
true. He lied on notes.
We are running short of time, and
that is not true. You asked the question that why do we have a skyrocket of debt profile from the Let is the history of the debt profile. Ralph Aregbesola.
You have a minute for that.
Ralph Aregbesola left about 400 billion debt inherited by his successor. Of course, there is no question the fact that Oyetola was a part of that government. So they both inherited, they both sustained the debt, and he took over, he transitioned the debt to his own very government. So he now compounded the debt from 400 billion that Aregbesola left.
By borrowing too?
He added more borrows. He borrowed more money.
He never borrowed.
He did. He borrowed.
You are saying Governor Oyetola didn't borrow anyway.
He never borrowed.
Okay. That's an argument on its own.
He never borrowed.
So he borrowed more than 100
billion. The deduction that government made
added to the debt inherited, making just like you said from DMO,
was 97
making
billion.
almost 500 billion
deductions from
that
Osun State.
Oyetola sustained as debt profile.
You are not correct.
This is why this is probably the rationale why he couldn't partake in the transitioning program.
You are not saying the correct
when the transition was supposed to be done, of course, these are some of the transparent things we should see in the public account. But it did not constitute any transition because it knows all these are in the public domain. So just like you said, the DMO, just like you said.
Unfortunately, we don't have all the time.
Just like you said.
And we still have some questions.
Your transition program.
No, just like
your transition committee.
That's just part of the
transition committee of
I'm not laying emphasis on the transition program.
Led
I was only making a reference to it.
Dr. Jamiu Olawumi.
I thought
with the SSG.
I thought you have done with your own point.
And SSG handed over the
records of the Mr. Jamiu, I'm still talking. I think I have the floor at the moment. Now, I was talking about the government you are part of. How you handed another humongous sum of more than 100 billion added to the amount you inherited, make it close to almost 500 billion that the government
It
hid
is not
somewhere.
true.
That was one part of the reason you couldn't come open.
Can you
So-
go on hold with that? Can you go
All
on
right,
hold?
gentlemen.
That would not be necessary.
It will be necessary because you are, you are talking about the
we are
figure.
only here to speak.
You have to
we are
come
only
up
here
with
to
an
speak facts.
affidavit
And part of what to respond for that
that you
was
know.
because his government was characterized with misappropriation.
No,
I will start from the only.
And your government has not been able to set up an inquiry to invite you to come and talk.
We will still do that if the need arise.
You don't have
We still do that if the need arise because we have all the facts and figures on our table.
You are
But
just-
I'm only saying that
please hold
the
on.
only
No,
achievement
no,
the
no,
government
no,
is
no,
proud
no,
of today
no.
is that iconic breach you did in Olaya.
No,
And of course,
no,
I'm going
no,
to speak to
no.
that figures now.
No.
During that time, you did a flyover of less than 500 meters, of less than a kilometer, and you prosecuted the project with 2.8 billion naira.
Okay.
This is part of what they expended the money for.
And you have spent 26 billion naira for Okefia.
That is a different thing.
Oh.
Now,
What makes it different?
That's a
Somebody
that's a
spent
fallacy.
2.8 billion and you have spent 26
I want to
billion.
answer that. That's a fallacy comparative analogy. That's a fallacy comparative analogy. When you are comparing a
You
cherry with
brought
an
it
apple,
up now.
no, when you are comparing a cherry with an apple, we have different purchasing
I've
power.
never eaten a
What
cherry.
happened in 3 years ago is what is happening now.
What is it?
The rate that they buy cement wasn't the same
all
thing
right.
that you are buying now.
Please,
So of
Mr.
course the
Oladepo,
projection is different
kindly
from what we
please
have
hold on.
now.
Hold on. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, Mr. Jamiu.
Yes,
I
yeah.
want to-
Ask me for the first question for the first time.
I want to take you back to the issue of OHIS.
I'm available.
Okay.
Yes, about the completion of the building.
Yeah.
The PDP Director of Media and Publicity, Honorable Oladele Bamiji, came out to refute some claims that APC completed that building. And yes, I want to know your take on it. Was it true that the APC, during their tenure, completed the building, or the PDP came over and then took charge of
Has the building
project?
collapsed?
Of course not.
And so what has brought the question?
I think they are talking about. who
So what
completed
is
who
the
didn't complete
propriety for that question?
Mm.
Has the building collapsed? Are they not using it?
No. That's not the question. Is I think there is. There's
I'm not questioning.
Yeah.
I'm questioning what is
I
said.
think they are
They're
talking
trying
to-
about who did what.
Yeah,
who
the building.
completed
Who completed
what
the building?
pattern.
Government is a continuum.
Yeah.
A project is ongoing and the government leaves. The government that comes saw the excellence in the idea of the program and continues with it. What's the ceremony there?
So it's safe to say the PDP completed. The APC started.
I cannot say.
Okay.
I don't have the figure here.
All right.
But the propriety of that question is not known to me.
Now, gentlemen,
It's a senseless
moving
question.
away from some of these, you have just said it, not because of the person asking, but because of
Yes, a
the
senseless
person
contribution.
talking about. Okay.
Okay.
That's the way. That's your opinion on this matter. But 33 years down the line, you are progressives. APC has left, Osun State. The Governor Adeleke has the 4-year mandate of the people, and the people will choose either it will continue or another person will be at the Abiri office. Where do we go from here? I will ask you the question, and I'll ask him as well.
Where should
3
we
years
go
down
from
the
there?
line, yeah. The projection for the future.
I listened. I listened and I've read the anniversary broadcast of the governor. Without being immodest, very flat.
Why?
In 19 months, he could not make a reference to what he has been able to achieve as a gift of anniversary for the people. So there's a lack of sociological benchmarking from Adeleke government to the people. The people will not benchmark the anniversary today because he has not said of anything he has achieved. The other time, my brother was talking about this, that. The ambulance services of Aregbesola ambulance is there. That is there. OEs is also one of the holes. Is also there. Yet they cannot benchmark sociologically what they have been able to do in 19 months.
Right.
Aregbesola government was constructing 10 kilometers per local government. At local government level alone is 310. They have only said about 90 kilometers in 19 months. Whether this government has served the state better or not, people are also watching and they are saying it. Instead, it has increased the tension between Ede people and Osogbo people. Let me give you this.
But why so? You have 1 minute for it.
Let
I'd like us to
yes,
clarify that.
I'll give
Why
you.
is there tension?
Today, Osun's people have an axe to grind with Ede people. The way Adeleke is handling it,
Why?
I'll tell you. The road started by Oyetola and Seyi Makinde at Dele Yesadea. This government has discontinued it with that project. Oyo is doing his own. But he stopped it when the project implementation got to Ede. From Awo Junction, you cannot find quadrants of that project. At Osun Microcredit Agency, if there is a 10 approval for people who are going to take loan, you find 8 people from Ede there. Go and ask. Go and ask the civil servants who have been deployed there and who have lobbied their way out of the place.
Honorable, we have to go.
This government has divided Osun people in a manner that an average Osun person who is not from Ede is inferior to Ede people.
Honorable Oladepo, yes, very quickly. He made this point in his introductions. He has reinforced it now. That the way the government of the PDP under Governor Adeleke is running it is making others look disenfranchised. And he has just given you an example. Is that true? Why is the government polarizing the people?
No, not true. It's against not speaking to fact. If you look at the way Mr. Jamiu was making an overblown hyperbole of the present government, we understand that he's speaking more to politics than to fact. No, he was talking about polarity in the government. He couldn't even pinpoint one particular citation or example or a case study that is making reference to. Now, and if you notice the way he was intentionally maneuvering the question of speaking,
you are not making your own points.
No.
Yeah.
Speak.
You have the opportunity to make your point.
He did not talk about the government he was a part of,
Talk
which was the government
about your
of
government.
Oyetola.
Talk about your government.
Honorable,
Because we need to understand.
What have you achieved?
All right, now, if I start to enlist some of the things, I've done that. In fact, I've done that earlier. So I've enlisted a lot of things that the government
Let us know again what you have
now,
achieved.
So
I'm afraid we don't have time for that. I only spoke about the polarity he talked about.
That is not true. I just answered
Governor Adeleke's government, in the way he's doing things, is making everybody to be serving a day. That's what he's saying.
Hallelujah State now is now Ede land.
That is not true. Osun government is more than Osogbo.
Yeah.
The cacophony of Osogbo and Ede is only limiting government to Ede, Osogbo. I think that is what we're here to talk about. Is that all the government is all about? Osogbo, Ede. What is the meaning of all this?
We have to go. We might have to have this conversation some other time.
It's all right.
Gentlemen, we just have to go because we have exhausted the time already. And we have been speaking to a gentleman, Honorable Jamiu Olawumi, who is an APC chieftain, of course, Honorable Oladepo as well, giving their thoughts on what their political parties, which they represent, have been able to do, have been able to give to the people of Osun State. By the way, as they say, is the 33rd anniversary of the state. And I hope when we're having the 34th, anniversary, and then we're having conversation, we have more good stories to tell beyond what we have right now. But then, as they say, history is always there. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and your take.
It's a
happy
pleasure.
anniversary.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, very well.
Thank you.
Tomi, you have to go.
Yeah, thank you for joining us for today's edition. Do well to join us tomorrow, 7 a.m. for another insightful time on the show. My name is Tomilola Daniel.
And of course, my name is Femi Ojo. Thank you for staying with us. You can have a recap of this program on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television and other exciting programs as well. Thank you for staying with us. Happy anniversary to the good people of Osun State.